I know that I've been gone for a minute. Yeah, I ain't finished. Motherfucker, I'm back. Yeah, I had a couple turn downs, but I'm over that. I ain't tripping. I ain't finished.
Yo, King.
What's up?
Nigel,
brother?
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, brother.
Invite.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Honestly, man. How's everything been?
Man, everything is good, man. Just taking it one day at a time.
Feeling good?
Yeah, man. Great.
That energy? Yo,
Weather's
morning.
good. Can't complain.
It's Tuesday, you know what I mean? It's an afternoon. Like, what's usually like a Tuesday afternoon in the Nigel world besides the interview?
Usually what it is just catching up with the team, seeing what's going on, possibly attending an event.
Copy.
Could be a meeting with my manager Donna, and just checking in with everybody on the team and just going out and just if I get a chance, catch up on Netflix or HBO.
What's some shows you like?
I'm not going front. There's a show that I really think they're doing a really great job. I want to give shout out to Issa Rae. Insecure. It's a really great show. I like that.
Into it myself.
Yeah,
I've been
man.
hearing great things, man.
I just feel like they really captured the culture really well. We haven't had something like that in a long time, and just being able to see the way that they're breaking through and connecting with people on so many different levels. I like that and Survivor's Remorse. Those two are really great.
What's the other one?
Survivor's Remorse.
What's that?
So it's a show that LeBron James put together where they just basically speak on the aspect of the manager, dealing with an athlete and the different trials and tribulations they have to go through in order to be successful, and how they have to be able to conduct themselves in the world now for the fact that they're a star. And sometimes I think as we as artists or entertainers transition into that light and all the cameras on us, we forget that people are inspired or are open to model what it is that we do. And we have to understand image is important, the way that we carry ourselves is important, and the things that we endorse or attach ourselves to is really important within the decision making. And our team, the people that we decide to be on our team, is a really important factor to what's going to either make us or break us. So those two to me are really dope.
Yeah, man. Actually, I got to check those out now. That's
definitely. Yeah, I like them.
You know? It's definitely a pleasure having you here, man. I brought you here really so I wanted to show a side of you that I've been able to see. Besides just all the successes or just the positive motivation, there's just also a lot of history behind what you've been through and just your face in the community. And one thing about the Artist Kickback is there's people who've come out of this community, and I feel should be able to tell young people and people who are coming up or trying to do certain things. They're able to see it from a computer for Instagram, but like just to bring you here, put a face to the name, put a face to the brand that has a giant team behind it, you know what I'm saying? Like really showing people, the depth of all of the things that you do for us, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to say thank you as an artist for all the things that you do for us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So I want to take them back a little bit, you know what I mean? We got to take them to little Scott Morris, you know what I mean? So
I got you.
When you first felt like, how was it growing up? Like, did you feel like there was a culture around you already as a child?
Yeah.
Like, talk a little bit about how it was coming up for you as a child.
Like I said, growing up for me as a child, I was always very social.
Yeah.
So I always knew everyone in my class. So from elementary all the way up to college, I was into sports. I actually thought.
What kind of sports?
I played basketball and football.
Okay, copy.
I thought that I was going to make it into the league, but then after a while, when you don't reach a certain height that's usually, most athletes are, you realize you have to figure out a different dream. So I was into sports. I was always into music. My first introduction into music was R&B and pop. So I got to see the way.
What artist though?
TRL had a lot of things. So my first introduction to music was Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
And I saw the way that those artists impacted people so much that anything that they said, like, people were just so interested. And then from there, continuing to get into like TRL, because I actually came on TRL because I was into like, you know, earlier today, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all of those things were fascinating to us.
Yeah.
So just going through different channels, and because it was on commercial,
Okay.
I accidentally came across TRL, and I was just listening to the music, and it just resonated with me somehow. So I just started to, every day at a certain time when TRL was on, I'd watch it. And then I got to learn about different musicians, got to see some of the interviews. Carson Daly was really big at that time because he just was able to get you to express yourself in different ways that some interviewers weren't able to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I got to see Sway win the MTV Awards and got to see the performances. And for me, I would just visualize myself from watching TRL and the MTV Awards. One day I want to be in that position where I can produce something of that magnitude or perform in front of people or just make people feel a way, different ways, from whether it's music I wrote or just from meeting me or anything I produced.
Did you feel like at a young age, like you were attracted? Because I know you had mentioned that, you know, these people had this, people listened to what they had to say, they reacted to them. Would you say, just besides enjoying the music, you were also attracted to just the power that music has over people?
Yeah, like I said, at that time, like I said, when I was young, you don't really know that music has that much of a power over you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're younger, you're just watching the reactions of people, and if something sounds nice or a beat sounds nice, you adapt to it, or you just try to learn the words, or you just try to make sure you learn the words so that if you're in class, you can be in that conversation. So with me, because like 50 Cent at the time in 5th grade, I purchased his album, or asked my mom to purchase it. You know what I'm saying? Was able to get that because I saw in the classroom, everyone was singing that song, Many Men. Now, we didn't understand what he was talking about at 5th grade, but it was just, everyone knew that song. So I said, you know what? I was introduced to this, but let me try something else, since everyone in my classroom seems to know this guy 50 Cent. And then from there, music just started to like just really interest me, and as much as sports did, but both of them was on equal levels of playing field once I hit 5th grade. Then going into junior high school, like I said, that's when I started paying attention to BET, Rap City, The Basement, all of those things, and got to learn more musicians. But just seeing the impact that they had on people, and just seeing that they made it a lifestyle, a career, it was a business, it was just really fascinating to just see that.
So, mother, father, growing up in the household, both parents?
Yeah, I had both parents growing up, mother and father. My father was always into West Indian music, Caribbean. He always played his records in the house, so no matter who came, I heard it. So even if I don't know some of the names of the songs, if I hear the beat or I heard a person singing, I have an idea of what it was, because my father probably played it.
If you could think of like one song your father played, like what was one that you like?
He was really big on Bob Marley. I knew that song, One Love.
Okay.
I knew that for sure. So he was always big on that. Like I said, my mom was always like that mother that just wanted to push her children to be at their best. Whatever it is that you wanted to do, she just wanted to see you succeed. And she just wanted to make sure always that as we get to the ages that we are now, we know how to be able to run a household, to be at our best, and just believe in ourselves. And that was something my mother and father always pushed. My father was always big on understanding how to appreciate people for the things that they do. Because one of the things that helped me within business is seeing something my father did. My father had to get one of his tires changed, and he was cool with this guy who worked at AutoZone. And I never forget that because of what he did. The guy at AutoZone decided he was on his break and he didn't have to do this. So my father came around the corner, drove the car around, decided to call the guy for the favor. The guy worked it out. He fixed something with the car within 20 minutes, and my father gave him a tip. And the guy wasn't expecting that. He was just doing it off of the strength of, that's just him and my father was cool. And my father always said to me that no matter what it is that you do, appreciation goes a far way. And because people don't have to give you a time. Simple, small gestures as thank yous, a tip, whatever it is you can give is important. Because sometimes you can't give money towards people, but a thank you goes a far way.
That's a fact.
So I've always remembered that. So it was just certain things that my father and mother did for me growing up, whether I did or didn't agree with it or I didn't understand at that time, I understand and appreciate it more now.
I mean, you were born in Brooklyn, or?
Yeah, born and raised in Brooklyn.
Copy. It's always weird 'cause I ask this question and people forget. I'm from Virginia.
Nah, I ain't forget. I know you from Virginia. You came over here.
That's a fact. So, like, you know, I don't know too much about what it's like to grow up in New York City, but just, you know, I guess when I like ride the train, I see mad kids on the train, or I see just kids coming out like in uniforms. I mean, it's such a different atmosphere.
I say for me, because everyone has a different experience. I say growing up in New York City, for me, it can make and break you. I know that it can make you mentally tough, because in New York City it's not the easiest place to live in, especially because it's very expensive. And within Manhattan, especially when you go in Manhattan and you see the fashion, the way that people are dressed, the lifestyle, it can attract you. So within New York City, I would say within it, growing up, you just have to find and identify yourself. It's inspiration in so many different ways, and it can drive you. If you want to do fashion, you want to do music, you want to do sports, it's a hustle city. Like, you have to have a hustle, especially if you're out in New York City. You're going to have 30 different jobs if you want to survive, but it's going to teach you that you've got to be able to be innovative and find different ways to push yourself if you want to make it out here in New York.
So during like your high school days, when did you feel like it started to transition into like, you know, a movement for you of I want to be a musician, or what was it first for you?
I didn't know what I was going to be when I was in high school.
Yeah? Okay.
I just knew that it was my escape. I don't have to be home. For these couple hours, I'm about to speak to everybody, skip class, talk to people, keep in on the conversations about pop culture, and make sure everybody knows.
Where did y'all go though? Like, what do you mean skip class? Do you guys sit in the crib and just?
We just walked the halls.
Oh, you walked the halls? Okay, copy.
There was like, sometimes we would just walk the halls, sometimes we would just go into people's classrooms, sometimes we would go in the gym. It just depended on the day. You get me?
Did you guys do that because you just felt like being in class was just, you weren't learning like anything stimulating, or?
It could be that. Or, you know what I'm saying? I really don't know the method to my madness those days, but I just know, I feel like for me, and I don't encourage anybody to do what I did, but I felt like for me, doing that helped me learn and understand when I have a kid, or certain things that when I do things nowadays, I have to understand why I'm doing it and what impact will it have within my life, whether it's a lesson or it will help me connect with somebody in some type of way, or just whatever that's just going to continue to be positive in some sense. So, because at those times we were just like, we didn't know better. You know what I'm saying? We were just about having a good time and just being involved with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I connected with so many different people during that time. So now even when I have my reflections and I think about, you know what, when I was doing this, what did it really do for me in what sense? You know what I'm saying? Did I learn something from it? Did I advance in some type of way? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, so now if I engage in this conversation or I engage in this motion, I just want to make sure that it benefits not only me, but benefits all those around me.
Now, I love the fact that, you know, you spoke on just you being social, you know, as a teenager, because it really just kind of, you know, shows as we start to explore your brain a little bit more. Coming off of your teenage years, you know, when it was time for that diploma to come and graduation and life's getting real, I want to talk about your first Scott Morris jobs. What was like the 9-to-5 that you can remember? Did you ever have one? Or?
The first 9-to-5 I had was McDonald's.
Okay, you worked at McDonald's. Were you like just an employee or manager?
I think I was between the ages of 14 to 16. I wasn't a manager. Okay. I was an employee. I know that I got fired within the first 2 to 3 weeks.
Why did you get fired?
So the reason why I got fired is because at that time, it was like my first lesson. I got to learn about knowing what's your role and understanding what your position is. So he was like the district manager, and I was just an employee. I had just started. So he wanted to move a whole bunch of boxes one by one into the refrigerator. And with me, I felt like if he was to take a couple of us, and just assigned us to help him move the crates. He would be able to accomplish more work in a shorter amount of time and complete what he was supposed to do, which was train a couple of us to learn the cash register. So when I said that to him, I guess at the time I said it, because I said it in front of all the employees, his response to me was, "How long have you been working here?" I said, "A week." He said, "Great. So how long you think I've been working here?" I said, "I don't know." He said, told me the amount of years, and then I felt like he tried to play me.
He did try to play. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
And that's how I felt. And I responded in a wrong way. And because of what I said, I got sent home. And then I came to work the next day and I wasn't on the schedule. And they told me that they'll call me when my next day of work was. 2 weeks went by, my house was called from somebody at McDonald's, and they said that I haven't shown up for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, nah, he set me up.
Yeah.
But I had learned from that, you know what I'm saying, time and place, because maybe he did want to hear that from me, even if he didn't, but maybe he was open to hearing me if I would have pulled him to the side and say, hey, you know what, maybe you should try this, and this might work.
Right.
You know
I find that interesting, because and we're going to continue. I find it interesting because I've been learning a lot about cultivating culture, you know, and indirect motivators. And, you know, when you had mentioned that you had said something about how somebody could improve because it was said around a bunch of other individuals, a lot of times people who are quote-unquote bosses, I put that in quotes because that's a very vague word to a lot of people, but like they don't understand that running sometimes companies just based off of what you want or just the company's goals, not understanding that the people who work for you, you know what I'm saying, like they're there, you know what I'm saying, they have feelings, they have things that will make them want to work harder, want to actually put their effort into things, you know. So, you know, I felt like, you know, him seeing that, yes, I do agree you should, you know, obviously pull him to the side, but I also think he should pull you to the side as well, you know what I'm saying, like, and then actually say, yo, you know what, nobody else said that, but you did, and you've been here for a week, you know what I'm saying, so I wanted to point that out because I thought that was very interesting and where your mindset was just even as a teenager who was not even invested in really being at McDonald's, but just seeing somebody else in a way they needed to improve.
Yeah, so, but you know what I'm saying, but like I said, you got to go through those situations in order to learn and understand how to hold those conversations and what it is that you need to do if you want to advance or have people be able to work with you in some sense in any type of way. So McDonald's was my first, and when I got to John Jay College, one of my peers was able to help me get a job at New York and Company. So that was like my first job after high school to where I was working in New York and Company. And again, I was just social there and I knew everybody at the job. So it was a cool experience. Yeah. I don't regret that or any other job I had. Every job I had was just a lesson, and it just also, they all taught me about balance. You know what I'm saying? You can have a dream, and even if you have that dream, when you're going into that job, you have to know how to adapt and still complete your task and still work on yourself while being here.
So just coming off of some of those jobs that you had, you know, learning those lessons and taking those steps, when did that transition? Was it like being an artist, or I believe you got into radio at some point, right?
Yeah, so I first started as an artist at John Jay.
Okay.
You get me? I was a part of the radio club at John Jay, but we didn't have a running radio station.
Okay, gotcha.
So I've always had an interest in radio in some way, because just to see, because when I joined the radio club, I was just like, yo, I'm about to get my music played. And I think that anybody who is in college that has an interest in music, that whether you're still rapping, you're not rapping, or you're singing, or whatever it is that you do, 90% of the time you're going to enjoy radio because you want to hear what it sounds like, or to see how people react to seeing your music play.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I was a part of the club. We did events, we did shows, we did poetry slams at the school, you know what I'm saying? And at John Jay, like I said, we were just able to just, me and my peers, like from freshman year all the way till whenever I stopped going, we just always knew how to make people feel good and be a part of what it is that we do. And from there, I was hosting an event and I ended up meeting Donna, who like manages my brand and who I work with, and she brought me into Hunter College because she was running D2LAO radio at that time.
Okay, gotcha.
So she brought me in and gave me my first official on-air gig.
So you were like,
I
you
was
were
on,
waking people up, or
Nah, we was like midday, so
midday,
like I
okay,
think
gotcha.
like midday, mid-afternoon. I know we was between either 4 to 6 or 6 to 8. Either
So
way,
it
I
was
know
Scott
we was
Morris
there.
show. Like,
Nah, I was a part of it.
Okay, you was a part of it. So what was your? Because you know,
I
everybody,
know I think my name was either Mr. In Your Ear or Mr. All Up in Your Ear. Yeah. So that's
I'm not
so
even
that was
gonna
one.
lie. That's a fly ass name.
I appreciate it.
That was a good
So-
name.
so
too.
that-
What was
so-
kind of like, you know, your role, you know?
I was a co-host.
Okay, got you.
So I know the lead host was Shelly Bell, but I was a co-host. But for me, the reason why I appreciated that experience is because I didn't understand how difficult at that time it is to be a radio host, like, or to be a program director or running your radio show. Like, you got to make sure that you do your research on your guests. You have to know how to make them feel comfortable. You have to know what music you're going to play and why. You have to know your target audience. It's a whole lot that goes into it. And just seeing Donna and how she would structure it and do it and just seeing it, it motivated me.
Gotcha.
Because, like I said, before that, I didn't know that much went into it. You know what I'm saying? I was just a part of Radio Club, but because we never had the opportunity to really run a radio show because it wasn't no actual running radio station at the campus, I didn't know that's what went into it.
Yeah.
And it made me appreciate and understand, okay, you know what, as an upcoming artist, this is why these radio hosts and DJs, you know what I'm saying, is so important. And I think sometimes until you experience or know or have that knowledge of what goes into it, artists most of the time don't really understand why it's important to give those drops, or why it's important to appreciate the people that's pushing and promoting your music. They just look at it as, okay, I got hot, they playing my single, but they forget that there was a whole process that had to happen in order for your single to be in rotation. I was at, like I said, when I was at John Jay, you were saying, that's the reason why I joined that club, you get me? I did open mics, even though I threw them at the school. I was really nervous, you know what I'm saying? And when I was at John Jay, the first event that we did, I was really nervous. And it helped me understand that you have to practice anything that you do, even though they teach you this in basketball as well. But in order for you to become great at something, you have to practice.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And performing in front of people and sharing your thoughts and your idea or personal stuff is not easy, because while you're on that stage, you get me, you're not sure how people are going to receive what it is that you're saying or view you when you're done. And I know that's why people have stage fright. You know what I'm saying? But you have to conquer that fear in order for you to be that performer or to be that performing artist. You get me? Because people have to feel that what it is that you do is like magic. You know what I'm saying? They gotta wonder, how is it that you do it? You know what I'm saying? Just like, for example, for you, I'm sure when people see you perform, they're amazed by it because they watch you do everything that you do and say to themselves, dang, if I could do that, man, I would touch the stage all the time. You get what I'm saying? And just being a part of that, like I said, the radio club, it just helped me just build those relationships. And then eventually, like I said, because if I wasn't a part of Radio Club and I wasn't put in a position where our big event was the Mega Showcase, we did our second installment of it, and the host that I had booked didn't show up.
Okay, got you.
So because I was so social and everybody that was attending the event knew me, my team was like, you host. And I was like,
on radio.
Yeah, I was like, I've never done this in my life. Yeah. But like you said, I'm a team player, so I was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? If I don't get up there, I guess we all gonna look bad. This whole cafeteria is packed. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know really what I was doing. I just was myself. I guess that worked well. The summer of 2012, I know I was going through a lot of like depression and suicidal thoughts and stuff because I wanted to do music, but I didn't know how possible it was. And sometimes, you know, like I said, mainstream media will make it seem as if music, like, is the only thing or the only job that everyone is trying to get. You get me? So I was like, I'm in a law school. I want to do music somehow. You You know what I'm saying? Whether it's an artist or it's whatever it is, I just want to be in that field. Yeah. And Marlon at that time, like I didn't have a close relationship with him at that time, but he was like at the campus, he was our student activity advisor.
Okay, gotcha.
So he was creating campus activity board into John Jay.
Gotcha.
And he had reached out to me during that time of everything that I was going through and gave me a shot. And he gave me a position as a marketing director within it. But that's because I knew how to promote events. Or if I said it was a party, everybody was coming. But I didn't know at that time what I was doing was promotional marketing. I just thought, it's a party, pull up. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me a position on that. And then he also, after hosting that event, they all just had, when we did a meeting about the John Jay Talent Show, they just all voted that I was going to host. And I was just like,
okay. Voted. Everybody voted.
Yeah, all the, because in that meeting, it was the dean of students, the student activity director, the president of the college. Okay. So at that meeting, I met everybody, but it was just like, I just vote me. I didn't even tell you I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? So now you're about to put me in front of 200 students.
Thrown in front of that, and how does
that feel? So it was, doing that led me to, when I did that event with the dean and I got him to rap and have fun, that led me to doing an event at St. Francis, which led me to getting more comfortable in hosting other events at school. I was getting pulled left and right, and I didn't plan that. It just happened.
Do you think it's because of that? There's now a face, like, yeah, you're cool with everybody, now
it was just, it was just, I didn't even know that it was a brand at that time. You get me? I just knew that it was just happening so fast, and I was just trying to understand what's going on. Doing that eventually led up to me meeting Donna, and Donna was managing an artist at that time. And then she presented the radio opportunity to me, and that's how it all came together. But that all came from, like I said, me joining the radio club. Had I not been a part of that, I don't know if I would have been Donna, because that situation of someone dropping out gave me an opportunity. And sometimes you just have to be ready for when an opportunity calls. You know what I'm saying?
No thinking.
Yeah, you never know when it's gonna happen. Because sometimes opportunities happen, you know what I'm saying, 5 minutes before the show is gonna start, and you just gotta figure it out. Yeah. And it's either you're gonna take it or you're not.
So I want to cut you off, but I want to transition and make sure we don't miss anything, because like the dean's list, you know what I mean, like it's just something that was very, very like big and every transition and everything.
It was bigger than I knew it was.
That's a fact. So you're on the radio. Is it, you know, did you stop, or is it?
While the radio was still going on, I had just came up with the idea of Dean's List Tour. Okay. So it was fresh, it was new. We were still figuring out what was the structure, but
how did you, like, that's such a, because I mean everybody does shows, because I know it's like, you were mentioning that you wanted to be an artist.
Yeah, so
did that stop as well too?
I was involved with a party scene.
Okay.
You get me? So outside of my campus, there was a couple promoters that was running Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? They was pulling out 1,000 people per party. They was getting shout outs on the radios. And for me, even though, like I said, I like Jay-Z and I like Puffy and I liked all of those people that was on TV, these people were within my campus and they were pulling out thousands of people. And they was pulling out Nicki Minaj before she got super crazy, Tiger, a whole bunch of them. And I was just like, how are they doing this? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And those for me were like my first sight of celebrities, even though they were my peers. It was just to see people always talk about them, or if I go to an event, people want to take pictures with them. I was just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? This is the impact that they have from them consistently pulling out 1,000 people. So I was just like, I want to do that, but I want to do something different. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to throw parties like that.
So
you know what I'm saying? No, I was still in the scene, but it was just, for myself, I was just like, I want to do something, because I had pitched my ideas to them, but it's just they didn't take it as serious. And it could be maybe because they felt like I didn't have the experience yet for event planning or anything. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I'm gonna just figure something out.
So while you're still thinking about being an artist.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking about art. Because the thing is, so what had happened was, like I said, I wasn't getting booked by nobody. You know what I'm saying? People didn't think I was that great of a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Or they didn't think that I just had it. Whatever their thoughts were. So I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna just figure this out. You know what I'm saying? And then I came up with the concept of a tour. You get me? So the original concept of Daze's tour was I wanted to go on tour. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I want to perform. I want to be at schools. I want people to rush me. I want people to say I like your music. I want that feel. So that was the original reason for it. When I connected the dots and found everyone who was going to school or had some reason why they wanted to be in the music business, and we came together to form it. Okay. When we did auditions, and it was a post that made me understand before the audition that this is not about me. Somebody wrote on Facebook, and it just came across my timeline, where they was just like, I'm about to audition for Dean's List Tour. This is one of the biggest moments of my life. And I was examining that post, and I said to myself, we haven't even got dates yet. You know what I'm saying? How could this be the biggest thing of your life? And I was just saying that to myself, like, this is definitely bigger than me.
We're in the Dean's List Tour, and you have 250 people here. You're starting to build, you know, this momentum for this tour. So how did this, where did it take you to reach all these different colleges? You're traveling to other states now. And
yeah, that's, I was saying, like I said, my high school years helped with that. That's why I said I wouldn't encourage anybody to do what I was doing. But a lot of the students that went to my schools, my high school, actually were people that helped connected me when they saw that I was serious. So, because I know sometimes people talk about peers and friends not supporting in some type of way. And for me, seeing Dean's List Tour, like I said, some of my peers from high school, honestly, was like, when they saw that I was serious with it, they'd be like, yo, you gotta talk to my boy. Yo, Scott, I need you to hit my homegirl up. Yo, Scott, my boy is the president here. Call him. He's expecting your call. And all of that came off of just relationships. You know what I'm saying? Had I not treated those people the way that I was supposed to treat them in high school, who was to say those people, when it was their turn to hold me down, would have extended that reach and contacted me on their own and let me know that their boy is in the league. You know what I'm saying? That's even like when I was working at H&M, when we did DSU, like my homegirl from H&M was just from being there for the seasonal. I treated everybody, every job I worked with, like I said, the way that I wanted to be treated. So when it came time for me to just talk about what I'm trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Somebody would have an idea and go, word, that's where you want to go? My cousin, they the lead cap over there. I'm going to tell them that I want you over there and give them your number so you can call them. Like, all it came off of, like I said, like, a lot of the stops that we got off of Dean's List Tour, outside of me just doing my own research, came from referrals.
I mean, I've been able to witness just, you know, your empire grow, you know what I mean, from the Dean's List Tour way before, you know, I was able to, you know, do business myself within the community. I just watched, you know, all of the different things that you put together. There's another company, I believe, that formed through the Dean's List Tour. I believe it's like Mor.Value, correct?
Yeah, but prior to that was Mor.Bookings.
So Mor.Bookings, yeah.
So,
tell me a little bit more.
So So I was working at H&M and Uniqlo to be able to fund some of the stuff with Dean's List Tour, because Dean's List Tour wasn't making money. But at the end of the day, no matter what it is that you want to do, you got to invest. Okay. You get me? So we had a lot of the out-of-state shows and events that we had to get to pay for rentals, transportation, if there was lodging, we had to cover that.
So you put in that work.
Like I said, the artists helped, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, our goal was to make it as easy as possible for these artists to go to these locations and have the experience that they're supposed to get, for them to build their fan base, for them to tell others about it, to want to come back or help out Dean's List Tour in any type of way. And I'm grateful that we've been able to share memories and great experiences with a lot of these artists, because they taught me stuff just as much as we taught them.
So you guys cultivated that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So with us, we put, I guess, our blood, sweat, and tears, the whole team, you know what I'm saying? It's not just me. Gotcha. You get me? So I was working at Uniqlo and H&M at the time. I was doing both of the jobs because I knew that we just got our first opportunity to go to Howard and University of Northern Texas. Gotcha. I didn't know how we was going to get there. I just knew that they said, let's do it. And we were just like, we're going to figure it out. You get me? And then December came. The managers that was holding me down at Uniqlo got moved to different stores. Okay. So I already knew what time it was. I knew that it was gonna close down to me. I was late too many times. So I already knew it was a wrap. You hear me? And I knew that same thing with H&M. So I knew it was over. So when December, when I got let go, myself, Blackout, who helps out a lot, Ricky, who helps out a lot, Carl, that's been like my brother from school, helped out in different ways that he can too, when I needed it, especially. So we just said, let's just figure it out. So we threw our second New Year's party. The first one that we threw prior was just to do it. Okay. So we came up with Toast to Life. Now,
remember that? Yes, I do.
So now we didn't know that so many people were going to come out, but we said, let's try it. Whatever we can work out from this, let's put something to help the tour, because we don't want these artists to feel like we let them down. Like we told them we're going to Howard. You know what I'm saying? To hear that you're going to Howard as an artist and have the chance to perform, that's like a dream come true. From all of the stories you hear, from Homecoming to people who've made it there to who's performed in that campus, and to have that on your resume, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You get me? And we were just coming off of year 2 when we figured out how could we make money to pay for rentals. And we drove 14 plus hours to get to Louisville and Ohio. And that was in year 2, because year 2 is what opened up the opportunity for year 3. You know, because year 1 was 250 people that auditioned. And year 2, you know what I'm saying, I think it was like 405. Yeah. Yeah, because after year 2, entering year 3, that's when we really got the buzz, because it was just like we went to Ohio and Louisville for an independent tour. They ain't got no money. How we doing this? And it was just us all working together.
It's beautiful.
But yeah.
And then how did this start transitioning into like
some more bookings? I got you. So we're going into spring semester of year 3. I just got let go by both of the jobs because I couldn't be on time. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from time management. You get me? We throw the New Year's party, we pack it out. So we make a decent amount to put together. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, Donna helps me a lot, especially with structure. You know what I'm saying? So because sometimes I have ideas, I talk with her, or I talk with people in the team to figure out how to put it together, and then we figure out a plan.
So you guys put Toast to Life together?
We put Toast to Life is like a fundraiser. You get me? So we ain't know it was gonna be that packed out. You know what I'm saying? But we packed it out. We raised some funds. Then I do my birthday party, a couple other events. I think we had just got a few merch just to see what it was. I know we did a couple things, but we figured it out how to raise it. And we just had to figure it out from there. Mor.Bookings got birthed because it was, I got let go. We had sat down, I think, with a big company prior that gave me, and they said things to me and Donna that they changed my life forever and made me just say, you know what, I just gotta go get it. Yeah. We sat down with them, they said to us, I really like the idea that you have. I think what it is that you're doing is amazing. But before we can do any type of financial sponsorship, we want to do product placement with you. And like I said, product placement isn't a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying, for what we wanted to do, that wasn't gonna help. So they said, we're gonna wait another year. So that to me was just like, all right, let me go get a job. I got the job. I got let go. We still got to figure it out because they're expecting us. We throw the party, we raise the funds, and then after that, from consistency, Mor.Bookings is birthed. Because we knew that to do the things that we wanted to do, regardless, we have to invest. Because these artists are relying on us. Our word is everything. We told them we can get you here, we can get you here. That's why they're signing up for the experience, for the promotion, for the opportunities. So Mor.Bookings was birthed because Dean's List Tour needed assistance.
So now it's like we're looking at, you know, this progression in your life where now, you know, there's the Dean's List Tour, now Mor.Bookings. It seems like as you're going, you're finding these reasons to like keep helping.
Yeah, because like I say, cause the thing what you got to look at it is, like I said, we're all put on this earth in order to, like I said, just be more than just, let me find what I want to say.
Sure.
All right. So with me, like I said, I've always been the type of person that I like seeing people be at their best. And like I said, that could come from my childhood experiences. But that's just how I've always been. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like you got a dream, you should go chase it. You shouldn't just stop at it just because you don't think it's reachable. It's only unreachable if you're not willing to try.
Coming off of Mor.Bookings, and now I want to take a little bit of a tour to Mor.Value.
Blessings.
Yeah, it's like, one, I just want to say shout out to your whole team for just the brand names, because spot on. Like, you guys, I was like, yo, I love these names.
Like I said, man.
So talk to me a little bit about Mor.Value. How did the transition? So now I understand Mor.Bookings a little bit better now, and I understand Daze.
Wait, I got to shout out my team real quick, if you don't
Yeah.
mind. So I got to shout out Asia, Aggie, Ricky, Blackout. Like I said, new people that we just recruited, Ariane, Janaea, Nick, so Kishanti, David, I know it's a lot of y'all, Cannon, Mike D, Kay, I know you're not here right now, but you helped out in a lot of ways. I said Cannon, I said Cash, I said David, Yasin.
This sounds like love.
Come on. Leticia, what's up? I appreciate you as well. Zai, I appreciate you too for the time that you invested as well. So, Michael, what's up? Feel me? We know it's your nicknames. I'm not gonna say it, but Michael, I'm talking about you, bro. What's up? You as well. Mike from the Bronx. Make it easy. Because the thing is, like I said, it doesn't. Even if I'm the visionary for it, you know what I'm saying? Like that, the whole business can't run with just me. You know what I'm saying? We gotta all be on the same page in order for this to move forward.
People don't seem to know that though. It seems like people just look at you and they just think some magical thing is just happening. And
like I said, I always make sure I do my best to let people understand it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand. Because like I said, if I was just to just say, yeah, this is all me, that's and this is just how I view it. Yeah. I feel that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because that's me saying that I don't appreciate the time that people invested in order to make sure that we're here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep Scott and Mor.Bookings and all of them separate, because Mor.Bookings, that's a whole team effort. You know what I'm saying? Even though Scott, like I said, he's a brand, you know what I'm saying? Mor.Bookings, Daze, like I said, Dean's List, Mor.Value, all of them, that's a team effort. You know what I'm saying? Because we bouncing ideas with each other and finding different ways to push us all forward.
I mean, that's beautiful to bring, you know, one to this interview just because, you know, like anybody.
Jim, what up?
Yeah,
I just remembered it.
Anybody just watching it, just because I feel like as artists, we do create things and people see Beyonce or they see Nicki Minaj, but behind those names, you know what I'm saying, is the makeup artist, is the creative director, you know, is the person who sits and picks all her clothes, you know.
Facts.
Like when you're looking at a brand or like you're looking at an entire movement, you just have to think to yourself, like, there's a lot of people invested behind these
Facts.
brands, you know. So shout out to your entire team, man. For one, just seeing your vision, and you also see their vision as well, because they give you input and they have ideas as well. And I think when a group of people all feel like their opinions and their ideas matter, that's how you create it. I want to transition now. We know that Mor.Value came about. Now, tell me the transition between now we have Mor.Bookings. How are we?
So like I said, Mor.Bookings and Mor.Value came in spring semester entering fall, entering year 4 of Dean's List tour. So Mor.Value came, it was just an idea. I wasn't sure too much, but, excuse me, I'm sorry. I saw like 4 artists that I was interested in. They all had something unique about them that attracted me to want to work with them. So the artists that I currently work with right now is Zai, Frank Knight, Quo, and B. Morgan. Each of them had something unique about them. So B. Morgan is the singer, Quo, Frank, and Zai all rap, but they all have a unique style to them. Like I said, Quo is that artist that he's gonna appeal to the college kids, the popular kids. He's just really stand out. Like Zai's that smooth, like chill, laid back, you know what I'm saying? To make you feel comfortable, that's how he is. Like Frank as well, very charismatic, he's like the class clown. That's the one that's gonna make you like laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But still got the bars. And then B Morgan, that's the one that all the ladies is always gonna be drawn because when he sing, it's just like, oh, this man can sing.
Yeah.
So, and all of them are each really, really talented as songwriters. Outside of them just being an artist, they're really talented as songwriters, and I feel like it's very important.
To like find particular artists.
It came from Dean's List. You know what I'm saying? I've met them all through Dean's List. We got the chance to build that relationship. Because for me, I'm really big on building the relationships. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to force anything. Like I said, each of them I think it like took like 2 to 3 years prior of us building that relationship for anything to be pitched to them.
Now, my question is, you know, with that, it's a lot of, as artists, we're all crazy, just to tell you, let you know that. Like, we're psychotic, you know what I mean? Like,
Facts.
It's just because, like, we have 5,000 tabs open, you know, all the time. So now you're talking about something that's, like, really serious. Like, you're talking about managing an artist's career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what goes into that in terms of now you have these other entities?
So with me, because I've always had people pitch to me about, like I said, management or label or anything in that nature. But I've always understood that when you're, like I said, whether it's management or people are signing with you to market and promote their records or push them to superstar level, that's someone's life in your hands. And I've always understood that. And like I said, I would say that when it comes to management or label in any sense of form or representing these artists, like, it's about communication, understanding where it is that you want to take them, listening to their vision, understanding their target market, figuring out what artists also work best with them, and just knowing, like I said, how to work with. You have to be willing to outsource if necessary or partner with different brands that could provide different things to help push the artist. You get me? Like, for example, as much as, here's a perfect example. It takes a whole team to push and promote all of the artists because they all have needs. Like, for example, Quote, as much as Quote is working with our company, Asia's his day-to-day manager. To be able to attend to all his needs, present ideas, and help push him forward and make sure that Quote is represented in the proper way to the public. You know what I'm saying? Like, we partner with D2LEL. As much as Donna is my Scott's manager, D2LEL does marketing and promotion. So we bounce ideas now so that we can have a campaign in order, because those are important, to be able to push and promote the records. Because the records still have to get out to a large audience in order for those audience to be believers. Because just because the artist is talented, you still have people in multiple cities that still in some way have to discover or be a part of the fan base for the artist that you're pushing to be a superstar.
Now we have Mor.Booking, we have Dean's List for, we now have Mor.Value. So we're talking, wow, artists have management opportunities. They have places where they can cultivate their talent if they need more, and then you also have opportunities to travel out of state, which is every artist's dream of opportunity. And now I want to bring it to a very, like, one of my favorite, actually. I've been to a few of these, the Daze Summit.
Bless you.
It's just amazing to hear these ideas. And talk to me a little bit about Daze Summit. How did we transition now from Mor.Value to now you want to do an entire fucking 5-day thing?
Got you. So Daze Summit was always a thought. We didn't know that was honestly going to be the name of it.
Okay.
I just knew that we always wanted to do a festival. We didn't know how we was going to do it, but as you know, you have to attend things to learn and also be inspired to figure out what it is that you want to do and how you're going to impact people in any way. Yeah. So Zaya and I, and that's how our relationship actually grew, we attended South by South. South by South is impacting people in so many different ways. Although it took 20 years, they did it. You get me? We were out there the first year that we went, and we were homeless. We had enough to get there, but we didn't have enough to pay for somewhere to sleep. But we attended so many different events and saw the reactions, why people thought it was important, how it was bringing people together. And I said, wow, this is amazing. But in order for me to experience this, I gotta go to Texas. Then we went to A3C. Same deal, where it was just.
You guys have nothing. You're just going out there to make the
connection. But because the thing is, like I said, in the beginning, everyone's different. But my journey, it was just, I've always had my experiences, which has helped me form my relationships, where it was just, I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. If my mind is set on it, I'm doing it. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna take a lot to convince me not to do it. You get me? Once my mind is set. So, so we've gone to these places just to experience it because we wanted to meet other people in our field and learn and understand how could we take ourselves to the next level. Because in order for you to grow, you have to learn and you have to be receptive to that. So after attending a couple of events and just seeing the impact, talked to my team about it and just said, you know what, just want to do a festival. Let's just figure it out. Okay. Let's just do it.
Talk to me about the first one.
So the first one, what made ours different is Dean's List Tour was going into high schools. And you don't have to be a superstar to inspire a student to do better or to chase after their dreams or motivate somebody. And I learned that from just doing the high schools when we started doing that. And I was just like, wow, we're really impacting students because we look like them. We're still on our path to getting where we want to be, but they appreciate that. So I was like, with our festival, I want to just make it more than just a festival. Let's impact people. So talked to the team, and then we came up with the idea of creating the festival, but let's still put some form of charitable work in it. Okay. So the first year we did it with Daze Summit, it was like 6 or 7 events, but we raised some money to help give 2 kids money towards their scholarship. Wow. And then, I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. So we partnered with Future Project to make that work because we was doing high schools with them. And to see the impact that we had in those 2 kids, where I know one of the girls, she was going to FIT, and she said, FIT is very expensive, but the money that you gave me hope. Mm-hmm. Because
how did that feel for you? Like for somebody to tell you that?
It was rewarding because it's like sometimes when you're doing things and you're just generally giving back, like you said, it just makes you feel like what you're doing is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And that's always a good feeling.
And one thing I want to stop for a second to just touch on. You and your team have just built these great entities. Now, how do you not lose? You know what I mean? Like the love. Things stop getting on autopilot when sometimes you stop having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you keeping just the structure, keeping this going?
I think it depends on what you define as fun to you.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? Because somebody's idea of fun could just be just chilling and just performing and not receiving any type of money or anything. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on you. You know what I'm saying? So for us, like I said, it's fun for us because we love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of us genuinely like to help people. So when you find a bunch of creatives that like to help people, it's always going to be fun and enjoyable because you get to see the reaction or hear the testimony of someone of how it impacted them to be a better person.
I want to move towards, obviously the future. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have done and established so much as a team. What are we looking at in the year to come as 2018 guys?
So just more opportunities, just developing bigger and better programs, and just looking to partner and connect with more people, and just have a great time while doing it.
That's a fact. So I want you to leave the people, with the apps that they can follow you on and do that information as well.
All right, man. You guys can go to any of these websites I'm about to list or social media. If you want to be involved, intern, connect, partner in any way possible. So you guys can go to www.Mor.Bookingsagency.com. You can go to www.dazesummit.com, www.DazeListTour.com, and you can go to any one of those or you can just go to the Instagram, which is spelled exactly how the website is, or you can go connect with me at Life of Morris on Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is. I want to shout out, like I said, Aaron. You help out a lot. You know what I'm saying? You've driven, helped rented some cars. You're the man. As well, Suave, as well. Appreciate you, first class. Suspect was good. I appreciate you. Oh, Monet, what's up, man? I appreciate you as well. Shout out to Monet. Busy, yes, you get the shout out too. I appreciate you. Busy, you have contributed in so many different ways. I appreciate you, and I want to say thank you too. Eddie, Sasha, Tazia, Nia, and D2LEL as well, always helping out. Wong, I want to say thank you as well, bro. I appreciate you. Live, I just want to say thank you for helping. Mastermind too, right? Mastermind, I appreciate you, man. You always killing with DJing, man. Dana, you do a couple of the flyers. I want to appreciate you too. Kendall, you just came on the team. You're killing the flyers as well. Thank you. I appreciate you. Franco, you did the flyers for a little bit, so thank you as well. Oh, yo, Miss, what's up? Shout out to you, man. You helped out a lot. Mojo, I definitely want to give you a thank you for giving me my first consistent platform to host with Painting Poetry. So Mojo, shout out to you. Mojo Disco. Yeah, Mojo Disco, I just want to say thank you to you as well. Oh yeah, yo, God, thank you for waking me up this morning to see another day, man. Because if you ain't wake me up, I could not be here, so you the man. Yo, man, I'm here with my son, TruthCity, you already know. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you always, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody out there right now, man, for watching. This has been the Artist Kickback interviews. We put these interviews on to make sure that you guys get a chance to see all of the key players that are in your community. All of the people that Scott Morris has shouted out, you know, we have popping on the screen, not just, you know, just to shout out. They're for you to know who's out here, you know what I mean, who you can come to in your community and reach out to. So please, we encourage you. You know, Scott Morris is heavily on Facebook, always giving positive energy. Feel free to leave him a comment, you know what I mean? Like, if you felt something from his interview that touched you, like, please, man, just, you know, reach out and just show that love so we can know how you guys are feeling out there. My name's TruthCity. This has been the Artist Kickback interviews. We look forward to seeing you again.